Hey everybody, great that you're back. Well, today I'd like to give you a my short opinion about the 16 gigabyte model of the Fenix 7 because most of you or most of the videos you see on YouTube is about the 7X Sapphire, so they always have 32 gigabyte, and the Solar and the basic 7 version has only 16 gigabyte. And if you considering or if you do not know which one to buy, I give you here a few things that I know about the 16 gigabyte because I have the 16 gigabyte and I like to let you know what you can expect. By cutting down the memory in half, I think Garmin did a really bad thing because on the 32 gigabyte you have all the maps already installed and everything is just fine. If you decide to buy the 16 gigabyte model, you should keep a few things in mind. You do not have 16 gigabyte. You have around 14.3 gigabyte for your own use because the rest is taken up by the system and the rest is taken up by three different golf course maps all over the world, which, to be honest, I do not need, but you cannot delete them via your watch from your system. So around half a gigabyte, no, even more, around 0.7 gigabyte is already taken up by these maps that, quite frankly, I never need and I never use, but I cannot delete them from my system except I connect the watch to the computer, and then I have to open up the Explorer and I have to dive in the Garmin folder and then try to figure out which are these three little files in this folder. And to be honest, I have not deleted them yet because I'm afraid to delete something wrong there. So you stuck with these golf maps on your watch, which quite a few probably never need. So that's a thing you should keep in mind. Another thing you should keep in mind is you do not have any base maps installed. On my 6, I had the base maps at least from all over the world, so that when I don't know, in some kind part of the world that I didn't have the topo map of, I still could see the main roads, or I still could get some information on my watch in the map view. But now, like for instance, I was a couple of days on business in India this week, and I opened up my map and it was just blank. There was nothing there except the little note that is 300 meters zoom in, but it was just white. Nothing is there. So keep that in mind. No more base maps here. And if you install, if you're all over the world like I am, because I have business all over the world, you cannot install all these maps. For instance, Europe already takes 11 gigabyte. You can split it up in three in Central, West, and I think Eastern Europe. You can split these maps up so that they're a little smaller. But like if I would to have the slice with the German map, it's more than 6 gigabyte. But in this slice, for instance, the direct neighbor Netherlands and Luxembourg are not in there, but Belgium is in there because it's more above. So I cannot choose by myself which countries I'd like to have from Europe. So I have a lot of countries I never need, and but it takes up a lot of memory on my watch, and you cannot split up the United States. So you have Canada, you have the whole United States, and I think even South America is in there too, which is also a pretty big map. So both maps do not fit on my watch. Yeah. So what I do, I install OpenStreetMaps now on my watch, and I deleted the Garmin Topo Maps. But these are all things you should keep in mind if you decide to buy the 16 gigabyte version. If you're just around your country, no problem. It's just fine. But if you travel a lot, you have to install and deinstall to get other maps installed. And so this is just a few things, a few of my thoughts that you should keep in mind if you want to buy, if you want to decide between the 16 gigabyte and the 32 gigabyte watch. So you do not have 16 gigabyte, you have around 14.3 gigabytes for your own, your own things you want to put on the watch, whether it's music, whether it's maps, and you have nothing pre-installed except the golf courses. If you are in a foreign country and you do not have Wi-Fi in your watch there, you cannot install the maps of this country. So keep that in mind too, because yes, you can install the maps, but only if you have a Wi-Fi network. If you're somewhere in the middle of nowhere and you discover that you actually need the map, well, you probably won't get it. Instead, you have already installed it in your home country. So these are all things you should keep in mind. I'm still gonna stick with my 16 gigabyte version because I do not want to go with this price policy of Garmin. This is actually a little protest of mine, which is of course a lot of more work for me because I have to juggle around with the maps. But I really do not like the decision Garmin made to cut the memory in half, even on the middle expensive, on the solar models. If they do it on the cheapest model, fine. But if they do it on the middle and model, I don't like that. Okay, just my a few thoughts about my 16 gigabyte version. Hope I could help you with your decision which one you should buy. Keep in mind, you have to juggle around with maps if you a lot of out of town and this part is not included in your map. Thanks for watching. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.